What is going on? Hello and welcome. Right, bit apologies, this is a bit late and a day late. Yesterday I was, well, preoccupied, and today I've been at football pretty much all day, so I've not been able to record this. I did have it re-recorded, or pre-recorded, sorry, but obviously that got defunct. I lost that. I still don't know where it is. I've got a few things back. I might have moved the files. No idea where. Not a clue. So re-recording it. England have literally just finished up. I could not take my eyes off it. It was spectacular theatre right at the end of that test match. So that's finally poised. And we've got more cricket stuff to go over here with the SCITT team previews. And the final one of our three new teams, as you can see above me there, it is AngryMatts Mob, of course. The owner is AngryMatt Gaming. And this is an interesting one. I think he's the man that selected the least amount of players. So they've only got 13 in their squad here. Now that is a first thing that props into my mind, thinking, well, imagine a few players, 2 or 3 players, don't play that well. It makes it interesting to see where he goes. But it means that the money is you know, let's say you've got better overall quality of players throughout the squads by default, because you've got more money put into less players. You put 4 million into 13 slots rather than 16 slots, 15 slots, even 14 slots. So it will be very interesting to see how that potentially plays out for AngryMatts Mob. But in terms of going from the 1 to 11, because we can't judge really any retained players, obviously a new team, they do not retain any players because they didn't have any players. They take a few of the players that weren't retained and go from there. Again, it is so enough. We've had so many teams that actually have such a powerful looking front five, and it is a powerful looking front five. Starting off, you've got a Scottish contingent in Kyle Kurtzer and David Warner. In my eyes, I think they're, you know, opening the batting. I think Finch hasn't done much opening in the skiff or the skit. Neither has Joe Root or Mitch Marsh. These two have opened pretty much every game they've played, and I think they, you know, they've got the stats to back it up. They've got the stats to back up. Kyle Kurtzer, average of 33, strike rate 164. David Warner, average of 42, strike rate of 195. And Aaron Finch coming in at 3, average of 54, strike rate of 214. That is some phenomenal hitting up there. Obviously, we'll go over the stats. Mitch Marsh, average of 33, strike rate of 189. But it's the big black mark, I suppose, on that front five is Joe Root, who didn't have the best of tournaments in the skit. 135 the amount of runs he made from 131 balls, so the average is 16. It's just over 100 for his strike rate, 103 spot 05. So that's the big maybe question mark, but Joe Root's quality. We know Joe Root's quality, and for me, I think he will has to press on in this tournament. For the money that's put into him, which has gone down, one of the players that go down from 500k to 450k and price brackets, it'd be intriguing to see where he goes from here. I quite like that front five. I think that front five has got so much power in it, and you think you've got Alex Carey and Chris Wokes. Chris Wokes, by the way, who has a has a strike rate at the moment from the just 11 balls he's faced of 363 runs. 363 strike rate. So it's in phenomenal strike rate. You've got Adil Rashid there, who's got a 211 strike rate. There's some power to be had all the way through the lineup. Michael Leese, we know exactly what he can do, the cameo man with the bat in terms of Scotland colours. Alex Carey, we know what he can do with the bat. He's an explosive player and also a left-hander as well to make things awkward. It is a good-looking team. It is a good-looking team. So I think up to about 5 or 6, you've got a really good batting lineup. Add to that, you've got the curious case, Matthew Cross. Potentially, if Alex Carey doesn't work out, you can bring Matthew Cross in. Potentially, you can bring him in for anyone, really. It's up to the manager, and also Paul Sterling. I mean, if you want an extra power, you want an extra muscle in that batting lineup, look no further than Paul Sterling, the big, beefy Irish man who can send the ball flying here, there, and everywhere. I think he's another good player that I think maybe could be a bit of a surprise package this time. I think he's going to have quite a good tournament. In terms of the bowling options, they've got 5, I believe. Oh, they've got all 5 bowlers playing. And Michael Leese, obviously down as an all-rounder, but does like to, even with Scotland nowadays, the Tory that they had with the Netherlands, batted I think at 7. So he seems pretty much like sort of the Wokes type characters. That's why I've put him there at 8. obviously Woke's 40 runs off 11 balls says it all about his power hitting. But Jamie Porter, Neil Wagner, Adil Rashid, Michael Leask and Chris Woke. You've got the swing bowler, you've got the aggressive bowling of Wagner, you've got the domestic bowling of Porter, and you've got the spin each way with Leask and Rashid. To top that all off as well, you've got Mitchell Marsh who can bowl a bit, you've got Paul Sterling who can throw his arm over, albeit Joe Root isn't classed as a batting all-rounder, but if you stick him on to bat at bowlers 1 or 2, I'm sure he could give you an over. So there's decent options in there, not much in terms of changing it, which again I think is the big worry, is that if one of those bowlers starts getting spanked, you're looking at, there's only 6 there in the team that will bowl. 2 of them being all-rounders in Mitchell Marsh and Michael Leask. So let's say, for example, Jamie Porter starts getting spanked around the ground. You've got a batting all-rounder or a keeper coming in for him. So that is the one thing I think, and it was interesting to see that it was a new team that went with the lowest amount of lowest amount of players. So for me, that's an intriguing one. That is something that we'll have to keep an eye on. And it makes the first game they play so crucial, because you see how the bowlers do. Obviously surfaces as well, you've not really got much change. There's not really many players, unless you just take one of, let's say, Porter or Leask out and say, look, if it's a seaming surface, we'll bring Porter in. If it's a turning surface, we'll bring Leask in, and just have the 5 bowlers in there with Mitchell Marsh taking up the other 2 overs. It's interesting. There's so much with just 2 people on the bench. There is so much in terms of decision making to be done for Angry Matt and his AngryMatts mob. For me, that is crucial. And the fact that their home stadium is always grassy dry, they're going to Edgbaston, it's a ground that I don't think is particularly strong for either bowler, for either seamer, swinger or spinner. So it'll be interesting to see the away games, if they go to the luscious green grass of Lords, they go to the turning Ahmedabad, what the team selection is, because obviously Paul Sterling can offer a bit of part-time spin as well, so maybe he comes in if it's a turning surface, but who knows, but I'm intrigued by that front 5, Kurtz, Warner, Finch, Root and Marsh. That is a powerful front 5. I didn't really mention Alex Carey too much, but he hasn't batted in the skit. He wasn't selected, he wasn't picked up in the first skit, so he's coming in for his first skit games here, I suspect. In terms of bowling, you've got Chris Wokes, who has been expensive with the ball, like Mitchell Marsh. Both of them have an economy of over 11. 1 wicket for Mitchell Marsh, 4 for Chris Wokes, sorry. But it's the 2 spinners for me that I think are key in terms of, and this is potentially why I think maybe just the 5 bowlers will do it, take one out if they're performing badly. Michael Leask has economy of just over 8.04, 4 wickets, bang on a 9 economy for Adil Rashid, and 8 wickets as well. So the spinners now has to take wickets. Neil Wagner hasn't bowled in the skip before. Jamie Porter hasn't bowled in the skip before. Paul Sterling hasn't bowled in the skip before. Neither has Joe Root. So a bit of the element of the unknown there with the bowlers, but I'm intrigued to see Jamie Porter. I worry with the bowlers that are a bit unexperienced. You come up against, for example, if he was bowling his batting attack early on, once they get in as well, it's going to be fireworks from the get-go, you'd hope. So I'm intrigued to see how he sets up here. Neil Wagner as well. I'm a big fan of Neil Wagner, just the aggressive style of bowling that he produces. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes into play. The pull shots obviously are quite prominent, I'd say, in the skip. And in the short boundaries there, if he's bowling into the body, it's interesting to see, will they take him on? Will they go for that 6? Or will they just try and knock him around and frustrate him because he likes to get into batsmen? If you don't let him do that, then maybe you just get a few raggedy deliveries at the end. But for me, it's an intriguing team. I can't help but think it's an intriguing team. AngryMatts Mob, I think, is going to be a team that will have some good days and some bad days. It all depends, though. Not the bowling. Bowling, it will be so-so, I think, throughout the tournament. It's that front 5. If Kurtz, Warner, Finch, Root and Marsh, if 3 of those 5 can hit the ball quite well, I think they're in for a good game. If they do struggle, if Kurtz and Warner struggle at the top, this is just predicted lineup as well, then it may be a case of change of plan. Maybe you're looking at Sterling and Cross coming in, but who knows. Anyway, that's it. That's my team review for AngryMatts Mob. Hopefully you're all doing well, enjoying the cricket. Watch some boxing later on tonight. I'll be doing that. And because I've got no food in the house, well, I have got food in the house, but I'm being lazy and it takes a long time to cook, I'll be having takeout probably. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, see you all very, very soon. Tomorrow, actually, Sunday. I'll mention it in both videos, just in case you don't watch it. Tomorrow, on Sunday, I'm going to be trying to put together throughout the day just a generic video to play during streams of how the SCITT works and how the different rules will come into place. Maybe just a few videos, just basically outlining the SCITT, and that way I can sort of help break up the broadcast of the streams. Anyway, I'm waffling. Smile.